Players Club.
All right. Gentlemen, start your engine!
Drivers, start your engines!
Gentlemen, start your engines.
Remember what I told all my drivers? Reach up there, pull those belts tight one more time. Drivers, start your engines!
And gentlemen, start your engine!
And welcome back to another episode of the Green White Checker podcast. I'm here with Austin, Zach, and Joe. We're here to talk to you about Daytona. Thanks, Joe.
Silent waves, Joe. This is only our second season. We've done that.
Yeah. Every
Over
week,
40
every
times.
week, damn it. We're going to talk about Daytona. Had all the series there
Hello.
this week. We had some rain. Thanks. God damn it. I quit.
I didn't say anything.
Thanks, Joe. Yeah, the one time.
You inspired it.
Yep.
Bad influence.
So let's get into it. We had rain out on Sunday and Saturday. So we had the 500 yesterday. And what do you guys think of the race? Let's start with Zach. How'd you feel?
I thought it was good. I know it's going to be controversial because everybody's like crying about saving fuel, but I got to be honest. I don't know if what we would have seen without saving fuel would be better. Like everybody talks about how they wanted to go flat out, but when they do that, guess what? They just all run in a single file line until like 5 or 6 to go in the stage, and they all go for a stage point. So I don't know, man. It was cool seeing everybody trying to do different things because you had guys who were trying to save, so they're driving 60-70% throttle, and then you had other guys who wanted to get track position, so they're trying to do something else and moving up through the pack. Like, I mean, that's how Kyle Busch went from the back to the front 3 freaking times. You know, if they're all just running wide open, that doesn't happen because they're all probably just going to migrate to the top and roll around and protect their stuff. So it's like, and like if you didn't know they were saving fuel, would you be able to watch that race until they were going slower? I don't think you would.
No, I would.
I don't think anybody would be able to tell
someone on the broadcast said they were only going.
Well, they're talking about it. I mean, 'cause that's what's going on, and even like I don't know. I just don't know what you do because there's always going to be some sort of fuel saving in pack racing. As long as they can like race in a pack, they're always going to try to save fuel because that's always going to go back to like a shorter pit stop with shorter fuel times, no matter what. So like even if you have to fill the car all the way up to the top, put whatever 20 gallons in it. If you were able to save 2 or 3 gallons by riding in the draft, well, then you have that much shorter of a fuel stop. So saving fuel is always going to be a thing, unless, I don't know, maybe you can make Daytona more of a handling track again, because that always used to be the thing, right? Like Daytona was the one where you needed a car to drive well. You actually needed to put tires on it and stuff like that because they were all slipping and sliding, and the cars were tough to hold on to. So I don't know, maybe you need to go to something like that where you create a situation where cars mishandle and it becomes more about the handling of the car than just straight fuel. I don't know. But whatever. I think it was fine. I thought it was, we had 2 wide, we had 3 wide. It was created by people trying to save, but if they weren't, like I said, what do you think we would have saw if they were all going wide open?
Yeah, I mean, I had no issue with the racing, honestly, and the fuel saving. I mean, that's just part of it, And it was cool to see different strategies too, especially when was it like the Roush Keselowski guys staying out? Is that who like stayed out and really tried to push it on fuel, at least in that first stage?
SHR.
SHR, that's right. But I mean, I thought it was.
You're talking about the first caution?
Maybe it's like whenever they were trying to stick it out in the first stage on.
Might have been the end of first stage. Yeah.
You had all kinds of you had so many crazy things going on because you had Bell, Byron, and who else? Somebody else stayed out in that first caution, sponsored by Brad Keselowski.
Wasn't it Bell? Or you said Bell?
I said Bell.
Blaney.
Bell, Blaney, and somebody else. There was a third one.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But they stayed out.
Yeah.
And there was like 3 or 4 different strategies going on. It was wild.
I mean, we really didn't see any single file top line very much.
Not
if
really,
we did,
no.
it was very short compared to like previous years where it's been like the whole race because everyone's just on the same strategy. It's just like, Fords are pitting this lap, Chevys are pitting next lap, Toyos are pitting lap after. And it's just, I thought it was great. I thought it was one of the best super speedway races we've seen with this package and with this car. Just because it kept me engaged the whole time. There was no moment where I was like, oh, I'm gonna get up and go get go to the bathroom, whatever. The whole time I was like, gotta take my phone to the bathroom because like they're still side by side. They still seem like they're jostling for position pretty hard. So I don't know. I thought it was a great race. I don't have any issues and really no complaints about anything that went on. But yeah.
So
that is true, Brandon. Yes, I'm going full homer tonight.
Yeah,
Joe,
making sure.
Joe, why do you have your Hendrick shirt on?
Because William Byron won, and what we had 3 in the top 10, I think, or no, it was 1, 2, and then like
26.
Yeah, well, Hendrick's back. We're winning every race. We're winning the chip. It's over for all y'all.
Your boy finished 14th. In case you missed it, 14th.
I realize
he came in 14th.
14th place, by the way.
14th place.
I know.
14th. In case you missed it.
1-4.
Thank you. Yeah, it sucked because Chase got kind of.
I'm gonna call that outside the top 10.
Wait, would you also call it last place out of the Hendrick cars? Would you also call it that?
You might. Where did Larson finish?
He finished 11th. So.
Oh, you might call it that then. So I'm gonna call it that.
Interesting. No, but Chase did. I mean, he won it. He won the stage. He was running well. I feel like he has weird luck at Daytona, but he turned
into Bell.
He what?
He turned left into Bell, got a tire rub, and fell back.
Oh, is that what happened? I was watching. I just like, they fell back. I must have just got shifted out or something. But
I was a little bit nervous there because my only holdover Joe and whose driver is better is that Mikey D has a Daytona 500 win and Chase doesn't. So I was like, damn it, if Chase wins this thing,
championship,
Mickey Mouse championship.
Oh, shut up!
I hope they let the
championship.
I hope they let the official that didn't black flag him at the Roval get to hold the championship trophy at least. That'd have been nice.
It is funny. All the people are like, they rigged it for Hendrick because it's 40th year and
script was scripting. That's for sure.
Zach called it before the race even started. He's like, it's the 30th anniversary of Hendrick Motorsports. They're gonna win.
Yeah,
100%.
Surprise! They wrecked the field and they win it. Oh,
I know. And they rigged it for the 24 specifically, and like, I don't know, all the stuff with the caution. I mean, Hendrick bias aside, like, I mean, it seemed legit
Can
to
you
me.
Do that?
Yes, I can.
Can you put Hendrick bias aside? I don't know.
As a member of the NASCAR media, I think I have to be objective sometimes. But
no, you don't.
No, I don't. But
we're a fan podcast. Our whole thing.
We're not factual. We're opinion based.
Well, except for the fact that everything we say is correct, Zach. You forget about
there's that.
I mean, going to that last caution, like, I mean, they called it. I think it was right. Like they tried to let them. The guy said it. They wanted to see if they would just stay off the track, but Cindric went back up and they threw it. Now I don't know, caution lights, scoring loops, whatever. But one of my guys won, so go team.
I like how I was looking through Twitter, and some people's like barometer of who won, Bowman or Byron, was. Well, Bowman's not arguing about it, so it must be Byron. Like, you think Bowman would really argue about it? Like, consider his position. He's the bottom man in the Hendrick totem pole.
Yeah.
He's just, yes, sir.
I mean, we had that conversation. I mean, speaking of the Hendrick totem pole, I mean, do we feel like Williams number 1 on that totem pole now?
I do. I can't argue.
Currently, yeah.
I'd almost say it's a 1A, 1B with Larson and Willie B.
Yeah.
I'd say next gen it's Willie B.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I could see it.
Now we got to see how Chase bounces back from his terrible year last year. But
I'm just gonna say I think Bowman's ahead of Chase here. I think besides for the most popular driver bullshit because all the old boomers are big Chase fans. I think you're going to see it this year. I think Bowman's going to finish ahead of Chase. He's going to win more races. Chase is the number 4. Calling it out.
All right. I mean, I'll give y'all it's Byron Larson right now, but I don't know. I
think Bowman's still number 4. Like, as much I would love to give Joe shit and call Chase last. I just can't. Like, he's in my opinion. Definitely, it's the fourth. Always has been. I don't really see. For him, I hope he breaks out of that, but I don't think he's going to. I think he's going to be stuck at that number 4 spot until he can vastly prove otherwise. But
I think so too, because like even some of his wins, like I don't remember seeing like a Bowman like
dominant.
No, it seems
He
like
always
the ones I
stole
can recall. Yeah, it was kind of like a late pit stop decision or crew chief adjustment or
Like
whatever.
outside of the Fontana win that he thumed everybody. Yeah,
I don't remember.
Yeah.
But
that one he led like every lap.
well, then there you go. There's one for him. But I don't know. It seems like most of his win. I mean, I know everybody was mad when Coppola said Bowman backs into wins, but he wasn't wrong, and he does.
Yeah.
He does fine. And I mean, to Bowman's credit, he puts himself in a position to take advantage of situations. But I don't know. Like, there's just some weekends you go in, you see Kyle Larson, you're like, oh man, he's gonna be fast, he's gonna be hard to beat, or Chase, or Byron. And I just don't feel like you get that from Bowman.
Yeah.
I mean, he has what? I'm looking at his overall finishes: 1, 2, 6, 7 wins in the Cup Series, and this is his 10th year in the Cup Series, starting 2014.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Yeah, but he was with those back marker teams for so long.
Because when did he join Hendrick? Like 19, 19?
Whenever Dale retired. So yeah,
I think
that's about right.
18. I think
so
Dale
he
retired
has
17.
So he only has 7 wins in Hendrick equipment in
7 years.
7 years.
6 years.
Like
now, I will come to his defense a little bit. Those early years he was with Hendrick, they were dark days for Hendrick. Like Jimmy wasn't winning.
Yeah.
Whoever else was on it. Who even was on the team then? Jimmy, was Byron on the team back then?
No.
When did Byron
Chase
join?
took over the 20, Chase took over the 24.
Yeah, Chase took over 24, and then Byron came in the year after Chase, right?
I think so, yeah. Because then he took the 24 and Chase took the 9.
So I think I think it was 17, 18, 19 is when they all sort of came in. Does that sound right? Somebody fact check me.
They did what?
Got their rides at Hendrick. So Bowman, Chase, Byron. I think that was the order. I don't know. I could be wrong. But whatever. They all started near around the same time, and like I mean, Chevys were just slow in the late teens. And so to his credit, or in his defense, whatever. I don't know if Hendrick really had their Hendrick speed at that time.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I mean, if we look at William, though, I mean, he's got 8, 9, 10, 11. I mean, it's 11 since 2018. So I guess, that's not an insane amount more. But then, obviously, you start to look at, like, your Chases, who, let's look at his stats. I mean, just a lot of wins. 10, 16, 18 wins since 2018. 3 of those in 2018, 3 of those in 2019, 5 of those in 2020. Like, I don't know. Like, yeah, dark days of Hendrick, but you got guys on the same team at the same time outperforming him consistently and still continuing to outperform him. I don't know. And obviously, wins only tell part of the story, of course. I don't want to base this entire performance off of wins. But that on top of everything else we've seen, I think he's fully solidified in that last place position unless he has a pretty drastic turnaround on his performance.
Yeah, but regardless, being last at Hendrick still pays pretty good, and as long as you tote the company line and don't do anything controversial, you'll have a ride for many, many years. So.
Or do something controversial on another team and then get fired, and then then you join Hendrick, and then your days of controversy are over.
Yes,
or SHR. So
can't think of any like great examples of that, but you get the gist. That's kind of what happens.
Well, SHR wanted Larson too. Remember, it was like a little battle where he's going. But so let's get back on Daytona here. Let's start off the race. We were about 5 or 6 laps in, and Brad K
strikes again.
It does what Brad does. He causes a wreck at a super speedway. Gets in the back of John Hunter Nemechek. He goes down. Hits. Who did he hit? I don't even remember. Caused about a car wreck.
It was Burton. He hit Jay Burton. Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Oh man,
Yeah.
he's got just horrible luck at plate tracks.
He does.
Like he's always fast, but he always just.
Well, it's Brad who fucking takes him out because it was Brad who took him out the first year of the next gen.
Oh, he was the one that flipped him.
Yeah, well, he created the
This
wreck.
is the
that
same
made
spot,
him flip.
wasn't it?
No, that was in the
backstretch.
backstretch. Yeah. Coming off
Yeah,
of two.
okay. Yeah, out of 2. Yep. Okay. But 6 cars involved in that accident. We had pit stop strategy after that. I thought it made a great race. The one thing that I wanted to point out was, and it was the broadcaster brought it up, was AJ Allmendinger was running by himself. Was what, 3 seconds faster than the pack?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That
is
They were
crazy.
running they were running slow, but again, like if they didn't tell you they were running slow, you wouldn't know.
Yeah, I
Well,
mean, it's
It's
how
usually about what, 3 to 5 seconds the pack's faster than a single car, and he's out there
Should be.
running 3 seconds faster than the pack.
Yeah.
It's
Crazy.
shouldn't be
But I mean,
happening.
3
but-
seconds on a 2.5-mile track, visually looking at it on a TV screen, you can't tell.
Yeah, you
He
can't.
was still 30
And I mean,
seconds back too.
Yeah,
It was circumstances that created that because what you
Right.
had Bell and I keep saying Blaney, the wrong person. Bell and Blaney, who both stayed out, which I can't figure out why you would do, especially
Yeah.
Bell. Blaney, you could at least make an argument for because he was further back, so track position. But Bell was running third. Like, why did you not just come and top off Adam Stevens? You're throwing all right. I think Adam.
Come and do what to Adam Stevens?
Huh?
Huh?
Yeah.
Anyway,
I don't even know what I was saying. I'm sure there's not a context thing there, but I missed it.
clip it.
But like he tries to like overthink. I think like, he's just trying to outsmart everyone, and he just ends up doing dumb shit. Like, why would you just not put fuel in it?
It worked at, what was it, Vegas last year?
What's that?
I don't remember what track it was. They stayed out forever, then they pit and they came out ahead. Or was it?
Yeah, but you got other stuff going on. But here you need the fuel. Like, you cannot make.
Oh, I don't disagree. I mean, I said in
even
Discord,
with cautions. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I said in Discord, the pit stop strategy for some of these guys, especially the I think it was Priest and somebody else, they stayed out the whole time, running so much slower, and they ended up getting passed. Like, you didn't get stage points, you didn't do anything. Like, you led some laps, but that doesn't mean anything.
Right.
I think so go back to what I was saying. You had Blaney and Bell leading the field, trying to go as slow as possible because they're trying to stretch it out as much as they can. And then everybody else, because they pit and were going so slow, they could almost make it to the end of the stage. So
I think they did. Like 2 or 3 of them did.
I don't
made
think
it to the end of the stage.
Well, yeah, they did, but they had to go even slower because I think eventually Bell and Blaney figured out, all right, this ain't gonna work.
Right.
So those guys decided to pick it up, and I think at just about the right time, where everybody else had to go, and they pulled themselves out of being in the window.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was crazy. I mean, and I think that's something Fox really needs. I think it's a crew chief in the booth. So somebody who, because the whole first stage, I was clueless what was going on. The booth didn't know what was going on. I just feel like you need a crew chief in there who understands strategy, who's there reading the situation or whatever, trying to assess what's going on.
It didn't work in the Xfinity race with the crew chief being in there, so we'll talk about
Who
that a
was
little bit later.
Who was in there?
They had Andy Petrie.
A crew chief who's crew chiefed recently. It's been years since he's crew chief.
And but now he's like I don't know, he's like head at RCR now. Yeah. So there's no bias there.
Not one bit.
Oh man, we'll get into it later, like I said. But no, I thought it was great racing. We had a lot of side by side. It wasn't the single car train that we've seen in the past. We saw a lot of 3 wide, which the first year we definitely did not see at all. And every time they did, it was like they were scared. But
we kind of saw
overall,
it fail in the clashes too, because there's one point they went 3 wide and just instantly the top 2 lanes just disappeared, and the one lane was like the only one that worked. So I don't know if that was, like I said, them being scared or something, but it was nice to see it actually work well in the race and get some really good 3 wide action the whole time, or not the whole time, but when it counted.
Well, I think that kind of goes back to like sort of what I was saying. So like this specifically with this package, like I know that if they go wide open, they can't have a third lane. So like that third lane is completely artificial and only creative just because they're saving fuel, which is why it's like, okay, so maybe saving fuel is a good thing then. if they have to do it, right? Because it creates that situation where you have that going on. Otherwise, it's just a 2x2 train where you can't do
Right.
anything.
Yeah. So something you were talking about earlier, Zach, is you mentioned different handling, like bring handling back to Daytona, right?
Yeah.
What if we were to run some of these changes that they're doing on the short track package at Daytona? Let's
I
get
mean, I
rid of
don't
some
care.
of this aero grip and let's see what it works or what it does. Like, are they
Go
gonna have
for
to
it.
fight the car more? Perfect. Cool. Like, that's what we
Yeah.
need.
Yeah, because I mean, you think about this car, like what they did, we talked about before. They've added mechanical grip and added downforce, so the thing is just stuck, especially at a plate track where now you reduce the horsepower yet. So I mean, I remember watching these early 2000 races and stuff like that, and they're just sideways off the corner. Like it's
Yeah.
crazy stuff you never see anymore. So make that a thing. Make them have to lift and check up, and because the car is handling so poorly. That could be
Yep.
one way to keep exciting racing and take fuel saving out of it, because now you're just worried about going as fast as you can, and you need tires anyway, so you're not worried about saving a second on fuel.
Yeah. If you watch the like races around 2000-ish,
They're
they're
nuts.
fighting the cars.
I
And
it's
it's great to watch.
2005. Watch
Really.
2005 500. Kyle Busch is all over the place.
Hmm.
He has it sideways coming out of like 3 and 4 all the time. It's so crazy. I just like knowing
I'd
what
love to
we've
bring it
seen
back.
for years. It's crazy to see.
Yeah. And back then too, you could change, your downforce settings. So,
Mhm.
spoilers are at different heights, stuff like that. And you could always tell, who's got the high downforce, who's, doesn't.
So
And
that brings up a question I did want to ask, and I thought about it, forgot about it, and now you saying that just reminds me. So we talk about having these cars being as close as we can, right? So parity to make everybody competitive, all that stuff. What if we had cars that were like the same spec, but your window of adjustments was opened up a lot more? Do you think that'd be a good thing or a
perfect.
bad thing?
Good.
Yeah, I
I
agree
want to
with
see the
that.
crew chiefs have to crew chief. I want to,
Mhm.
well, now we got all these engineers too, though, which I'm not a big fan of, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think that you're going to see a wider range of, everything. You're going to see people on the edge. You're going to see people who just corner better. You know, I don't know. I'd like it, but
I
that's just
think
me.
I think the argument against it would be, well, the big teams are just going to be able to afford the guys who know the most, and they're going to be able to set the cars up best, and they're just going to run up front because they have the money to afford those guys. But I don't. I mean, it's not a socialist sport. You know what I mean? We don't need.
You're gonna have that,
You're going to have that
Yeah.
regardless of
right?
what limitations you have. Obviously, we've seen NASCAR try to get them more to spec, but still, you have A tier, B tier, C tier engines, partners with the OEMs and everything. So obviously, you're still going to have that disparity. And I think that I kind of like that because maybe you see in the off season a team like Front Row, shell out tons of money for a like super tenured, experienced, car chief who, and you're like, oh, like how's this going to play out? Like, how's this investment going to work? Maybe they have to cut money on the driver they're doing or the engine they're running or something to be able to afford that. So it's kind of like the strategy moves there. It almost feels like a football team. Oh, they hired this offensive coordinator. Like, how'd they get him kind of thing. But I think that I don't hate that idea. But end of the day, like we're saying, there's no way to get everyone on the exact equal playing field. So I definitely
No.
think opening up the cars on the adjustments would be a good move.
And I don't think everybody should be on the same playing field.
No.
Somebody who invests $100 million should have an advantage over somebody who invests
Right.
$10 million.
I like the move to be a little more spec though. Like I've supported the move of the Gen 7 and making it a little more spec to get everyone a little bit more on an even playing field, just so we don't turn into a Formula One.
Mhm.
Like I don't know if we've moved towards that or not. I feel like there's always been that aspect of, you have your top teams, but I don't hate the idea of getting the cars a little bit more equal, but I don't think, like you said, it shouldn't be completely 100% equal.
Yeah, and I mean, basically, it's like parts and pieces are still the same. Everybody's got
Mhm.
the same kit car. It's just what can you do with it?
Right.
What do you prioritize? Right? Some people might prioritize long run speed. Some people might prioritize short run speed in their setup. Give them and maybe they do something and they end up blowing a tire because they have a bad setup. You know, I think I don't know. It just sounds like something that could work. Maybe it wouldn't. Maybe they would all just stay within, you know, this small window of each other anyway, and you wouldn't really see a benefit. But it was just something I was thinking about. Like, I wonder how that would work.
What if they were to say you could have 3 different spoiler settings, 3 different radiator plates, and
I'm not even saying I'm giving you a
stuff
window.
like
You
that.
can go from like, I don't know, 0 to 15 degrees, whatever that means. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like just a super wide window. Because
Okay.
I think if you have, it's like I think what you're talking about is like mix and match parts that are preset to certain settings or whatever.
So you want Bill Elliott 1989 Daytona with the flat spoiler. You want to be able to do that.
Give them an option, I guess. Yeah, if you want to try it. I mean, I don't know.
First turn, lose
I
it.
don't know what like the window of available adjustments would look like. I'm just saying, like,
What are they like now? Like, what are we comparing this to? You
I don't
know?
know. I imagine them to be very tight because they always talk about how 16th of a thousandth of an inch out. I don't know. The window just
Well,
seems like it'd be really tight. Maybe
and
it's
we know
not.
they can't do much with like the spoiler
Right.
angles
You
and stuff
can't
like
do
that.
much with the body or anything like that. You can't put tape on them anymore.
Right.
I like that. I like them putting tape on the car because you get situations where
Yeah.
you make a mistake like Denny Hamlin did.
I was gonna
Well,
say
not Denny
Denny's not too upset about the tape thing.
But it's just like a variable, it's like,
Yeah.
and you do this whole risk and reward thing with your setup.
Right.
Do
You
you
push
tape it
it.
off more and get more speed, but also risk blowing the motor, getting it hot? Like, I don't know. It's just,
Yeah. And you get them running full tape on qualifying for Daytona and stuff. And
they would just fucking scream.
yeah, those things were boiling too by the time they got to that checker. They were screaming for cooling anywhere. Yeah.
So I don't know. I've just been thinking about it. Like, I feel like there's a way we can do this spec thing, but then also allow for a lot of freedom when it comes to actually setting the car up and how you build it.
Right.
So then you still get that variable, that difference in speed, and I don't know, or maybe it wouldn't work at all. What do I know?
Yeah.
I think with all the sims and engineers and stuff that works for the teams, I don't know if it'd work like it used to. I think everybody would kind of find that sweet spot and run the same setup every week.
But I mean, engineers aren't a new thing. It's not like they just created engineers in the last 3 or 4 years. We've had engineers in the sport since early 2000s, easy.
Right.
Now they're like what you're saying, their technology's a lot better. I don't know.
Technology, data. I mean, Ryan Blaney's got a freaking mouthpiece that tells how many G's he's hitting the wall at now.
Poor Blaney. They need to name a wall after him.
Yeah. Gosh.
Hopefully not after something bad happens.
Hopefully not. Jesus. He does have
Hey.
some bad wrecks there.
Dude, I mean, 55 G's, and I think another one was 70. Like, goddamn, man.
Yeah. Crazy.
But yeah, the racing was better. Come down to the end, we had an incident on the backstretch, which, the whole Bowman into Byron into Keselowski thing. Hendrick kind of walks away looking, pretty clean there. But how do you guys feel about that wreck? Just a racing deal or?
Racing deal. I mean, obviously I do like a couple Hendrick guys and whatever, but I would call myself far from a Hendrick homer. But I still think that, I mean, it's a bad push. That's going to happen. William gets a little loose, goes down into Brad. I don't think that's really necessarily on anybody. I see it as a racing deal.
Yeah. Feel bad for Brad, honestly, in that case, because
I don't.
It's just one of those things. Yeah, I know. I guess he
if there's anyone else, maybe, but
yeah.
Brad's done that enough. I mean, he did that in the duels enough to make me not feel bad for something like that happening to him in the actual race. So, boo-hoo. Cry.
He'll be all right.
Yeah.
He'll be all right.
Yeah. I completely just lost my train of thought. Oh, I was going to mention Michael McDowell, the favorite on this podcast. Man, he had a fast car too.
Yeah, that was a bummer.
It's rough.
That sucked, man.
See that?
Yeah, I hated that. I was like, what? I didn't even realize it. And suddenly he's like 5 laps down. I'm like, what?
Yeah, Yeah, he pit and then went 3 laps down like instantly, and then just never gained speed back.
Yeah.
But our other fan favorite, Corey LaJoy, what he ended up with?
P4.
Third? P4?
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Good run for Corey.
Much to the chagrin of Silver Spoon Austin Cindric, excuse me. Austin Hendrick, yeah. Sorry, I'm talking about Hendrick too much.
Close enough.
Yeah, close enough. Silver Spoon, regardless. But yeah, which I don't know what he was mad about because Corey had he got him a little bit overly loose there before he got turned down into by Ross. But I mean, that's racing. You're going to get loose, especially in these cars. But two, he was blaming. I mean, maybe he hadn't seen the replay clearly enough, so he's kind of talking out of his ass. But definitely was barking up the wrong tree by blaming Corey for that one.
Yeah, I went back and looked at it, and to me, it looked like Cindric left the bottom open. Corey tried to go there. Cindric tried to block him, got loose, and then the whole final lap Chastain Cindric thing happened.
Yeah.
But that's what I saw. Cindric thinks different. Corey or Chastain doesn't know what the hell happened. He's just like, whatever. I think it's the first wreck where the guy that Chastain hits isn't mad at Chastain.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, Chastain there in that moment, if that move works, great move.
He wins.
You're moving up front. You hold the lead. You're good. Issue is it didn't work, and he was nowhere near clear from Cindric. And maybe if you're on the backstretch or something, you can kind of make that move, and maybe Cindric moves down for you a little bit to just not cause a wreck or whatever. But on the tri-oval making that move, there's nowhere for anyone to go, and you just turn yourself over across his nose, and that's that. But controversial end, though. I know some people are pissed about when that caution, the timing lines, and when NASCAR determined when the caution came out. I don't know what y'all's thoughts are on that, though.
I wasn't happy about it, but
Was that what it is. Byron being the winner over Bowman? Or
yeah, I just saw tons of people crying on Twitter about Bowman was actually in front whenever the caution lights came on.
I don't care.
From this one view that I'm seeing of the onboard of Bowman, clearly he's ahead.
It's a Hendrick driver one way or another. The evil empire wins. I don't really care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We get the dub no matter what. So.
No, I mean, the angle I saw a picture from Fox or NASCAR. I can't remember, but
photo they used, the overhead shot.
Yeah, I was like,
caution light in the tri-oval that's on.
If that's where they're calling it, then that's Byron's a little bit ahead of Bowman. So that's that.
Yeah,
just the way these things go, man. I mean, these guys are on top of each other. You have this late race incident, and it's just, I don't know. It's the way it goes. There's always going to be a controversial call.
Yeah.
I at first, I looked at it and there's the green light went out, and they're like, oh yeah, that's when it takes over. I'm like, it's always been when the yellow light comes on. But if you look farther down the track, there's already a yellow light on. So Willie B did win it.
Yep. 100%.
I mean, congrats, honestly, for Hendrick, for Willie B. But I don't know, just a lackluster finish. It could have been so much better.
I do hate when they finish like that, especially when you don't get any of the last lap. It came out right after they took the white.
Yeah.
Versus Xfinity, at least you kind of got a half lap, and then the wreck happened. Still no caution, but despite Creed thinking there was a caution, it looked like. But I thought it was, always a little bit disappointing. But I was fine with the result, obviously.
Yeah.
I think that last lap would have been interesting because you had Bubba and Bell who were linked up right behind Bowman and Byron, the 4 Bs. It would just been interesting to see what them guys could have done coming around the 1 and 2 and down the backstretch. But whatever, that's the way it goes, man. They're all going for it, and sometimes the timing just sucks.
Right.
Yeah, 100%. Other than that, I mean, do we have anything for the 500 anybody wants to talk about? I can't really think of anything else
for a Monday race. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah, great attendance.
Great attendance. I think they ended up saying if you had a ticket for either Xfinity or Cup, you could go to both on that one. So that was cool.
Definitely cool. Cool move by them.
Yeah. Pro tip: if you're going to go to the 500, leave Monday open.
Yeah.
Austin and I did not. Austin and I did not do that, and we paid the price.
Yep. I will say
When-
too, if you're going to Daytona and you just have an Xfinity ticket, I mean,
Come
I don't know
on.
how many people that really benefited,
Yeah.
but still, for that
Yeah.
one guy that had that, I'm sure he was stoked.
Oh
to
yeah.
go to see the Cup race too.
Yeah, when I was looking to go this year, my flight back would have been on Monday. So Monday at
Oof.
about 2:30. So
I didn't
missed
go.
both the races. Yeah, me too. But
I think
No,
I want to
I-
try to plan a trip for this next season, and I'm definitely taking PTO till at least Tuesday for
Yeah.
that. We end up doing
But
that.
no, I thought it was a great race. I know we'll get into the Fox later, but other than that, it's pretty solid. And obviously, I'm happy with the result.
You sure?
so
The Bears pretty happy with it too, clearly.
Yeah, go Bear.
Yeah.
for those that don't know, the Xfinity race on Saturday was rained out. The Cup race on Sunday was rained out. They had them both on Monday. The Xfinity was supposed to be early in the morning. I think it was at 11.
Yeah.
It got rained out, got pushed back behind the Cup race. So we had, I don't know, an afternoon of racing, which worked out great for me because I worked, got home right about 15 minutes before the race 500 started. So honestly, I love that. It was awesome. But
It's great. I pulled it up for the last hour and a half of work. Just had it up on my desk with an AirPod in, and then I got to come home, watch the rest of it, and then watch Xfinity until midnight. So it was great.
So it made me think, though, if you could, and I'm not saying this is ever going to happen, but say NASCAR comes up and says, we're going to do both races on Sundays. You buy a ticket, you get both races, you show up to the track, you watch them, you go home. Is that something you would be interested in? Would that be a selling point for you?
Joe, you go first.
If I were going, like, say for like Charlotte, like the 600, which they would never do, but like say they did Xfinity before the 600, I think that'd be sick because we don't have work on Monday and you get to be at the track all day, drinking, having food. But I think TV wise, like if I'm sitting at home, I probably wouldn't, especially once football starts, because I want to watch the misery that is the Panthers at 1:00, and then I get the NASCAR race at the back end of that when we're getting blown out, and I get to watch the Cup race, and so I don't have to worry about also having Xfinity. And I know like double screen, but like I feel like yes if I'm going, no if I'm watching.
Brandon. Joe can't even make it a full 600. He's talking about staying for
I
2 more
left
races.
20 laps early once. Calm down.
Quality
That's
comment
hilarious.
from Brandon.
Quality. Thanks, Brandon. But on that note, we mentioned this before, but we do live stream these podcasts about around 9:15, 9:30ish on Tuesdays. It's Eastern
9:45.
time. Yeah, Eastern time.
It's all over.
Feel free to check it out on our YouTube at the GWC pod, I believe it is.
And on Twitter now.
And on Twitter. Yeah. But anyway, back to the question at hand. So this did happen for the 600 this past year, where Xfinity was the morning of the 600. And I will say, now, bearing in mind 600 is the longest race on the calendar, it was a long ass day of watching racing, showing up in the morning, getting to the track, and Xfinity even was cut short, I believe, because it started raining in the middle of the day. But then, like, by the end of the 600, I was like, oh my God, like, I've been out here for 8 hours at the track. My ears are bleeding, even with my headset on. Like, I'm just absolutely, I've been drinking PBRs all day, so I'm exhausted. And plus being hungover from tailgating the day before. Like, it was just like, it was a whole lot. So again, that's the 600 extreme example. But again, the Xfinity race was even cut short, and I felt like that. But I guess the time I was there was the same regardless. But I think Cup races are long enough to where, we talk about shortening the races or whatever, but it's like they're long enough to where adding Xfinity on top of that could be very exhausting. Obviously, your super fans, kind of like us, who like live and breathe NASCAR, might be into that. But if I'm bringing people to the track, we're just going to sit out and tailgate until the Cup race. We're not going to go into getting people into the Cup race at all. Half the people just go to tailgate and then they go home. So getting people to, on top of that, try to go into Xfinity race, not happening. So I think that for the super fans, great selling point. You get to see 2 races for the price of one, or not price of one, whatever. You get to see 2 races. You don't have to carve out a whole extra day to drive down there, get lodging while you're there or whatever. But I think, for me personally, that's not a huge selling point, because if I'm going to a race, I'm probably hanging out, tailgating before the race. And then that's how I'm spending my morning, early afternoon before getting in. So I don't see it as a huge selling point personally.
I think the better thing, and maybe this is, I agree. I think that's a long ass day, especially if you're like, I mean, they're trying to attract families and stuff like that. If you got kids, you're gonna go to 2 races.
Oh yeah.
Like getting kids to sit still for one race would be tough.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think the better deal, and I haven't been to a race for years. I've never bought a ticket to a race. I went when I was a kid with my parents. So there may be deals like a package of Xfinity and Cup, discount deal, like a bundle ticket. That'd be the way to do it if that doesn't already exist, which I'm sure it has to.
Yeah, you can get like weekend. I think it is, at least.
Yeah,
Maybe I'm wrong.
I think that's probably just the best way to do it is some sort of bundle deal with the tickets. 8-hour day of racing would fucking suck.
I mean,
long, dude.
Every time I camped at Road America, you start off, and I mean, it was a day of racing because you had the Trans Am guys there, you had the Spec Miata, then you had practice, qualifying, the race. I mean, it was a full day, and I mean, for something like that, it's kind of nice because obviously you're not like confined into a small area. You have a campsite there. You can go get drinks. You can do whatever. You're not focused on the racing, but you can always like just look over and, oh, hey, they're racing type deal.
I think like a road race is like a whole different vibe too. Like I feel like it's, I don't know, like you don't have to sit like if I'm at an oval race, I feel like I have to sit there and watch everything that's going on. Like if I'm at a NASCAR race, there's a lot you're trying to pay attention to and stuff develops. But when you're at a road course, like just the nature of a road course on its own, you're not seeing everything all the time anyway. You're only seeing your corner. Plus, I don't know. They typically do have like you can just walk around and do stuff kind of thing. A little easier than being in stadium seats at Kansas or something.
Yeah,
right.
And those seats aren't always the most comfortable, especially at Charlotte.
And when you're walking around too, I feel like, again, I haven't been to these places, but just I feel like you can still have eyes on the track as you're walking around doing other stuff. Like you can see a portion of the track, see what's going on. Once you're behind the grandstands of like an oval track, you ain't seeing shit.
Yeah, you go down to the food stand to grab a turkey leg, and you're just blind. All you hear is when they come by, and then of course the one time you get up to get food is when they all wreck right in front of where you're sitting. So,
yep,
that did happen
every time, like every freaking time. Let's get into the Xfinity race here. We who won it? Oh, Austin Hill. 3 in a row. Yeah,
3 in a row. Austin
completely dead. Yeah, 3 in a row. Kind of crazy. I feel like Sheldon Creed kind of handed it to him. I think so. We had another incident on the final lap where out of 2, Ryan Sieg gets spun. The broadcast doesn't show it. I mean, you guys are going to be surprised by this, but they were on a bumper cam when the accident happened. And after that, of seeing somebody, start to spin, they go to a camera that only shows the front 2 cars. Nobody else. So you have no idea where the pack's at. You don't know how big this wreck is. Nothing.
Horrible.
And Creed, I think, thought the yellow was out. He lifted, lost all momentum, pretty much handed it to Austin Hill.
Such a bummer.
It was. I mean, I was really pulling for Creed there and definitely had some money on him. But I don't know. Here's my biggest gripe is we saw the wreck start from the bumper cam. No replays, no talk of it, nothing.
Nope.
For the rest of the broadcast. Like, I tried to find video on it. Couldn't do it. It's not out there because they never showed it. Yeah, that sucked. But let's see. Start of the race. Jesse Love, obviously on the pole. Good for him. Rookie won 10 ARCA races last year. There's only 20 races, so won 50% of them.
Pretty good.
I mean, I'm excited to see how he does in the 2 car this year.
Yeah.
Obviously, starting off with the pole at Daytona. Hell yeah. And then he follows up by winning the first stage. Awesome. During the first stage, we had an incident with about, I think, 8 to go, where Suarez gets turned, takes out Sam Mayer. He hits a ton. I don't know if you guys saw that. I mean, I think this was harder than Blaney's hit, honestly. Our Xfinity ready driver, Haley Deegan, 7 seconds after the wreck, plows into the back of Daniel Suarez. That's awesome.
Love that.
But yeah, that's just, I mean, that was really the only major thing for the first, I don't know, half of the race, I think, maybe more. Well, no, that's a lie, because right after stage 1, we have what I'd consider the biggest incident where John Hunter Nemechek does what he does in the Xfinity and trucks, and he causes a wreck at a plate track. And this one, I mean, that was what, Justin Allgaier, Austin Hill, Jesse Love torn up. I forgot who's in the 10 car now. I think.
I think
But
so.
a lot of fast cars get torn up. Anybody thoughts? Anything on that? No?
I did not see the Xfinity race, so I have no comment.
Mister, I had to go to bed. Oh, bye, Zach.
Uh-oh, bye.
Oh.
You got poop.
No, sorry.
Hey.
I tried muting my mic because I'm doing stuff over here.
After that, though, we had a fuel mileage race again, kind of like the Cup guys, which ended up being Natalie Decker and Ryan Ellis leading laps.
Yeah.
Interesting.
never
Who had that
thought
on
I
the
would
bingo
say
card?
that.
Yeah.
Didn't
Yeah.
I saw that tweet where like Natalie Decker had worse odds to win the race than guys who missed it.
Yeah.
She was like
That's
Yeah,
plus
she was
50
like
plus
she was like
50,000
plus
something.
50,000, and David Starr, who was disqualified after
That's amazing.
qualifying, plus 25,000.
That's
Like,
That's
crazy.
amazing. Imagine if that
Yeah.
hit though.
I know. I was gonna say, especially once you started leading some laps there, it's like imagine those guys.
Yeah.
And it
people who took
rains
that bet.
right now.
Yeah, yeah.
A
Lightning
hurricane
strike.
hits.
Yeah. Daytona
that'd be
destroyed.
crazy.
Natalie Decker declared the winner.
Oh, they would have too. As soon
Oh,
as
yeah.
something
Oh,
happened, they would have called it. They'd be like,
100%.
one drop of rain hits the track. Done.
Yeah, that's it.
Can't
Call it.
recover. Oh man. But let's see. Other than that, Jordan Anderson had a great race. They finished third and fourth, which, I mean, last year, Retzlaff finished fourth also. The year before, Myatt Snyder went through the catch fence. So they're improving here.
And that is an improvement.
But man, I don't know. I thought this was the best racing all weekend. Honestly, there's up until SVG spun Jeb Burton with about like 20 to go. It was amazing. Like 3 wide, everybody's changing positions. Old play track stuff for like the Cup guys is what it looked like to me. But I don't know. I enjoyed it. Daniel Hemrick set the fastest lap for Xfinity ever at Daytona at 197 miles an hour.
Right.
SVG was in like 4 accidents. Only one was his fault, and that was just him moving up and clearing himself on Jeb Burton and
Great
Jeb
saving,
spinning
yeah.
out. Yeah. Oh, yeah. He did get spun out, didn't he? Or
Yeah.
Maybe you should have ran more
Kinda.
ARCA races. He might not have gotten into those wrecks.
Yeah. Well, he didn't make it long in the ARCA race either. But no, I thought it was a great Xfinity race, great start to the season. Austin Hill doing what he does. Yeah.
Being an idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Oh.
hate Aussies.
Yeah. Anyone named Austin. POS.
True.
Truck race. Shit show?
Oh, yeah, that's putting it lightly.
It's so bad.
Yeah,
I've been
come
in C-Fix Daytona races that are better than that.
on.
That's what it looked like. Like, it was a mess. It was, I don't know, man. Back in like the early 2000s, we started running there. You know, everybody seemed to have a little bit of respect for each other, especially after the whole Bodine thing in 2001. But it just, we've gotten away from that. It's push, shove, get out of my way, or I'll make you get out of my way. Just nonstop.
I forget who tweeted it, but would having more Cup guys, allowing them to do more truck races help?
Thanks for
you think?
stealing my talking point, Joe. Jesus
Wow.
Christ. My God.
Well, go ahead, Zach. Talk.
Yeah,
No,
Zach, how do you feel?
started it. You drive this point home. Let's hear it.
No, I'm asking the question.
You're at the
I think it
wheel.
would.
Daytona 500 winner.
I mean,
So,
I-
like, I mean, the thing,
ahead.
I think the thought behind it is you have, the old guard, your senior Cup guys in there that kind of, I don't know, sort of guide the young bucks, if you will. Sort of,
Mhm.
show them one way or the other, either take them under the shoulder or put them in the fucking wall,
Yeah.
and sort of teach them the old-fashioned way, I guess. It is a conversation I did see on Twitter today. Kind of made me think. It was somebody saying about how they specifically wished about Kyle Busch running. It's so funny. They always say how they don't want Kyle to run races because he kept winning. Now people were kind of like, oh, I miss Kyle running races,
Yeah.
or just Cup guys in general, Cup winners in general, just to sort of, I don't know, maybe mentor the younger
Mhm.
guys, kind of show them some racecraft, some things that are acceptable, some things that aren't. I don't know if that's a thing that needs to happen or not. It's tough. It's
Yeah.
What do you do to correct this series? I guess would be the
Right.
question. Because it's bad. You look at the championship race, disaster.
I'll tell you how you do it.
And here we are in Daytona, and it's the same thing.
I'll tell you how you do it. Stop
do
letting just the daddy's money's kids or the kids with sponsors be
Mhm.
the ones who get the rides. Let people with
Dab
actual
me
racing
away.
talent. But sport's so freaking expensive. You can't
Yeah.
do anything
Yeah.
but
No
have
way
those
around
kids
it.
in there. Yeah. And by the time they get to Cup, they are at least with guys who, they feel like they rein it back a little bit and kind of figure, get their feet beneath them before they start really trying to race. At least maybe they learn some good lessons when they get there. But I mean, it's just the lower series. You're just going to keep having that with the way the sport is, where it's so expensive. So those are the people who are going to be in the cars.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, do you mandate they go to ARCA for a season? They have to.
Well, what's that going to do? ARCA's even worse.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do
But
there?
you're
Just
going to
get
get
seat
a
time on
better
big tracks,
talent pool.
though.
Like this,
Yeah.
this stuff that you're seeing now used to only be seen in ARCA. Now it's migrating up to the Truck Series. So how long until this migrates up to the Xfinity Series? It's just
I already
like
see
this.
some of it. Xfinity races can be total crapshoots.
They can
too.
be, and
Yeah.
it's just, I don't know, what do you do to correct it? Maybe Drake's right. You figure out a way, and teams are talking to NASCAR about this RTA, trying to, because they're so dependent on sponsorship dollars,
Right.
unfortunately. Like, so
Yeah.
maybe there does need to be some big business model change where teams aren't so reliant on that income, and they can stay afloat. That they don't need to get the guy who's just bringing in daddy's fat check
Yeah.
to get them a seat. I don't know. And try to get more talent. I still think, I've said it for a few years now, and my solution for ARCA at least is you get rid of ARCA and you get a premier late model series, premier super late model series, especially with Dale Jr. and them guys doing this Cars Tour thing. That might be something you might want to jump on if you're NASCAR. I'm just saying.
100% agree.
As far as truck, I don't know, man. He's got a bunch of 18, 19-year-olds with a lot of money behind them that make shitty decisions. So,
Yep.
what are you gonna do?
Yeah. Another early wreck, Matt Crafton, the veteran that's supposed to be training these kids, is out there wrecking people. Pretty big wreck.
There's the counter argument to the veteran guy.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. Like the whole time, I'm like, man, who's the veteran? And it's like, it's just Matt Crafton now.
But Matt
It's the
Crafton's
only
always
old
been
guy.
dog shit. So you can't.
Yeah.
He's not exactly who I would rely on. He's just an asshole. I've never liked Crafton.
Yeah. Saw some handling issues where everybody was kind of all over the place. But I don't know. Oh, the whole race was kind of just like a shit show from the start. You had Raja at the end, kind of ruined the finish again, where he just clears himself trying to get between two trucks and wrecks the field. And of course, he still finishes, second or whatever. But
That's the way she goes.
yeah, Nick Sanchez, good for him. I mean, I got championship bets on him. I think he ran really well last year. I think he's going to run extremely well this year, and I think I'd say with the Kyle Busch stuff, but was it Thor that has the Ford or the Toyota equipment now? I don't know, but Nick Sanchez.
Is Thor Toyota now?
Good. Who got the KBM stuff?
That wasn't Thor. That wasn't Thor. That was somebody else.
Wasn't Thor?
I remember. I can't remember who it was, but it wasn't Thor.
Yeah.
I did see Kyle's going to run some races with Spire, which is kind of funny. Never.
Yeah, starting this week.
3 years ago, say Kyle Busch is going to race for Spire.
Yeah.
Like, that's just one of those things kind of wild.
Good for Raja. Side note, finishing where at the cost of the
good
field.
For him.
But, good for him.
I think if he had a little more patience, he had a better shot of actually winning it.
Yeah.
But young and aggressive, which that's what that series is.
Yep.
Like you said, it cost the field. He wrecked a bunch of people, which sucks.
Yeah.
But no,
you learn.
Yeah, Nick Sanchez ends up winning it. Cool. Arca. Yeah, Arca race.
Arca.
I don't.
Yep, I was an Arca race. Yeah.
Quote of the century though from
Andy Janoway.
You're footing it to see God or the checkered flag. He saw God pretty quick, so
yeah.
That's a risky thing to say.
Thankfully, he's still alive. He's still alive.
Still alive, but his car saw God, I guess.
His car did see God
shortly there.
I don't know. What I also enjoyed was at the beginning, this was a lap 4 wreck. Tony Bradinger, I think is her name. She gets bumped by her teammate. She goes down.
Flamed him in post race,
dude. Yeah. So she goes down. She hits 2 cars, and normally people when they're hitting a car get off. She just stayed there, like, I'm in your lane now. It's your problem.
My lane.
Causes a wreck. After she goes to the infield care center, comes out and just bashes her teammate and basically says that he's a silver spoon kid with money and daddy's paying for everything. And he goes out and wins the race. So
how'd that work out?
Yeah. Which apparently the team, apparently the guy there was a late restart. The guy next to him led most of the race. They were going to have him go in front. I don't know. Team orders on like the last lap. Like, get out of here. Yeah, everyone's mad that he didn't follow them. It's like, I'm winning. I'm not going to let somebody pass me.
I love that. I hate team orders.
Yeah, Gustine, good for him. I think we got to talk
Arca. Did Chevy sweep the weekend?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah,
they did.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
As trucks, is Nick Sanchez a Chevy?
Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
Okay, so there we go. Damn.
Look at that.
I honestly didn't see Chevy winning the 500. But
no, nobody did.
I totally did, right, guys?
That was gonna be right. Yeah.
Actually, no, I'm the one who did. Joe, you're the homer, and I'm the one who called Hendrick winning.
So when we were watching the 500, I don't even know if we were through stage 1. Zach had a point and said, "Box is improving."
Yes.
How do you feel, Zach? Do you think they did?
I stand by that. I think they improved. Improved doesn't mean perfect. Improved means improved. You got better.
57 minutes of commercial out of 198 minutes.
I mean, they're going to play commercials. It's Daytona 500. What do you want?
Quarter of it?
And it's, again, I said improved. Pick your area. The commercials were bad. They were vicious.
They were.
But towards the end, I think what they do is and I wish they were just more open about it, they stack the front of the race with commercials so they can show the last with fewer commercials.
I mean, they do kind of mention that. I mean,
I thought NBC has kind of hinted at that.
Mike Joy even said at the 500, he's like, well, we're going to go ahead and get this last break out of the way so we can bring you the last bit here commercial free.
Right.
So I think they do allude to it.
Wish they maybe they should say it. I don't know, at the beginning of the broadcast. I don't know. I don't know how you handle it because people are never going to be happy. But they do load the front of the race with more commercials so they can show that. And I think when he said that, to Drake's point, it was like 30 some laps to go or something like that. Like there's still a decent amount of race left when they did their last like side by side commercial to show the end. So I don't know. The commercials still aren't great, but they are what they are. It's the biggest race. They're gonna sell ad space.
Yeah.
I don't know how to fix that. But it's just, I don't know. I see like little things. Like it's not big improvements. I just think they're improving in general. Like, the Mike Joy was better. He was more excited this time. He seemed like he's got a little of his life back. Kevin Harvick's good. Clint's still Clint. But I think like the production team seemed a little more responsive to what they're talking about in the booth. I think we saw less bumper cams. We still saw them, but there was less. I don't mind the roof cam as much as I mind the bumper cam. The bumper cam is just stupid. I don't need to see the bumper cam. The roof cam is kind of cool, particularly when they're in the middle of 3 wide. That gives you a sense of like the chaos going on. So I mean, I don't hate that as much. Bumper cams are dumb. They need to go away, especially at play tracks. Like, why are you showing me the bumper cam that's underneath someone's rear bumper? Why do I care about that? I can't see anything.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
What if it's for a sense of speed? I wonder if that's how they do it. 'Cause, I mean, they talk about that Formula One. They lowered the cameras to give you a better sense of speed, and that helped their broadcast. I wonder if Fox is like, oh, lowest camera we can get.
Yeah.
The bumper. Throw it up
Well-
every chance we get.
Can we put a camera under the track?
They did. Oh, the digger cams.
The digger cam, bring that back.
Yeah. Did you mention the foot cam on a freaking super speedway?
No,
They had,
Yeah.
Denny's foot cam. Like, all right, he's pressing the gas. He's pressing it more. A little
Roll
less
out.
now.
Oh,
They
And then
showed
the
it during
other-
the pit stop, though, didn't they?
Yeah, they did a crank it up during the pit stop.
I don't hate that.
What?
I don't
I
hate
mean,
that.
okay,
Blow it
okay.
all out, Joe.
I
Come
don't.
on.
I
Not a
don't
crank it
hate
up.
that. Except it was for the first time we're cranking it up this year on a pit stop. I'm like, okay, you can do that, but not for the first one. I want to hear them going full song.
I think I would like the
halfway
pit
through
stop
race.
crank it up better when they had the old pit guns. The ones that really
Yeah.
zip.
That's
Yeah,
I was
they're
just
sounding
about to
cooler.
say that.
The
Like
new
the one
ones,
lug, they're not in a hurry, and it's just bit.
it's just
Yeah.
like they just don't sound as cool.
Done.
Like the
Yeah.
old
Yeah.
ones that went.
Because when they did it, I was like, oh, this sounds cool. And then it was like, Butte. I'm like, oh, that's kind of underwhelming. And then you just hear
It
like
was-
Cliff Daniel yelling, go, 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 go in the background.
Yeah. It was Larson's pit crew, and there was no hurry there at all. And it was just like,
No.
what is the point of this? And that was the only pit stop they showed. So
Yeah.
it's quiet cars going down pit road, followed by a very slow pit stop. And it's just like, ugh, like do it during a green flag or something where they're working for it,
Yeah.
But
And what
I
we were
wasn't excited for it.
sounds like a not horrible idea that was poorly executed. Is what it sounds like.
Yes.
Which
Yeah.
And it only took them 4 laps to go to their first kid cam of the year. So
Yeah.
new record there.
yeah, they got that in. Good for them.
Yeah. But did you guys hear? And it only happened a couple of times. There was dogs barking in the background.
I did not hear
No.
that. No.
You didn't hear that? So it was only when they were in the booth.
During Cup.
But during the 500, there's dogs barking. And it's just
I
like,
did not hear that.
It was
this is
Clint.
awkward.
Maybe the bomb
It's
dog
just
or
Clint
something.
hammered in the background
Okay.
barking like a dog.
He's just having an episode. Just let him go for a little.
Yeah. It's
But no, I heard it and I was like, I'm hearing dogs, and then all of a sudden on Twitter, I see anybody else hearing dogs. It was like, it's not just me. So
That's funny.
I don't know if it was like one of the campers in the infield had dogs or what, but it was just so awkward. And then I don't know. My other gripes was the whole Xfinity race. Oh my God, was it bad?
dude, I was
Michael
falling
Waltrip,
asleep.
Petrie, and what's the guy that's always doing it?
Adam
I always
Alexander.
forget. Yeah, that guy. Dude, so bad.
Just
See, I
no
like that.
energy, tons of gaps between when they're talking. Just like I was like, it's already late, and now I'm having to listen to these guys commentate, and just like the lack of excitement, energy with anything that happens, it's just so bad. It's horrible.
That's surprising.
Well-
I always thought Adam Alexander did a good job, but apparently not.
Not
Dropping the ball, Adam.
Not the
Not with
Xfinity
those
race.
two.
No.
Yeah, not with those two. And then Andy Petrie, I mean, he's got 2 cars out there running the race, and it's just like, we get it, you're biased. Like, over and over and over, and it's like, this isn't
You
good.
mean we didn't learn a lesson from putting Jeff Gordon in the booth?
Yeah.
At least Dale's like kind of good with it.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. They'll
Well,
say
He
Dale
has it
doesn't.
pretty well.
He doesn't do too many Xfinity races, does he? He typically.
That's true. That's true.
I mean, he's very self-conscious of it. Like he's very self-aware, because he's talked about it and how he
Yeah.
tries to avoid it. So like, I mean, if you're aware of the situation, like that's a good thing. That means you're trying to avoid being that. So I'm sure it's hard for him, but I do think he does a good job. Dale's one of my turned out to be one of my favorite commentators in the booth. I never really liked him as a driver too much, but
Harvick did good.
Harvick's good. Yeah, I like Harvick. I think he'll be good for Fox. I think Harvick likes to speak his mind, as we all know. So my hope is, as he gets more comfortable in his role there and gets more familiar with how things work, he'll just start calling out bullshit whenever he sees it and get them to fix stuff.
Yeah.
I've liked the driver banter with Harvick in the booth. It's been
Mhm.
decent. Like Kyle Busch has kind of
That was
messed with
funny.
him a little bit, and it's just like I enjoy it.
Kyle's different, man. I don't care what anybody says. He's different now. I don't know. He's more relaxed. He's not so tensed up. I don't know.
Yeah.
He's definitely changed since moving to RCR for whatever reason.
The one thing I will say is they need to stop every time they see the 4-car going, oh, what's it look? How's it feel with the 4-car out there and you're not in it? Like they did it 4 or 5 times during the 500. It's just like, stop. Just stop. We get it. He's not driving that car. It's Josh Berry now. Cool.
That's
but-
fucking Clint. Oh, why'd you tell me what it's like seeing that old hot rod out there?
Dude.
What's it like seeing that 4-ball out there?
What was it that
Yeah.
he said? Like I said it in Discord, and I forget what it was with Clint. But there's some wreck where he just like completely blamed the wrong. It was like that early wreck. He just completely blamed the wrong guy.
Oh yeah.
He blamed
man, I don't
William
remember
when
who
it
it
was like when it was Brad's fault for the bad push or something like that.
No, it was the he blamed William for wrecking Brad. And
Yeah,
just completely oblivious that Bowman pushed him or something like that.
yeah,
And it's-
exactly. Yeah,
And it
was
took
just
him forever to figure it out. And, oh, Bowman hit him. It's like,
Yeah,
yeah.
He
Like,
and
and
Clint-
everybody saw it.
Clint just like I swear he's just hammered in the booth or just is half paying attention and like texting the other half. Like I don't know what's going on with him, but he just never seems
favorite
like he
thing
knows
is, like,
what's going on.
My favorite thing is when he like tries to talk and tries to say something and like gets confused and just
Yeah.
stops talking.
There was something else that happened where he was saying something and both Mike Joy and Kevin Hart were both completely disagreeing with him. And because like, oh well, and it's like you're just wrong. You're just an idiot.
I think-
You're stupid.
I feel like what he's trying to do is he's trying to be too serious or something. Like he's trying to overcompensate for his silliness or something
Yeah.
like that. Like I have to show everybody I'm a serious commentator. So and he's just like aggressive and he just like has to like get a point across even if it's wrong. And he's just I don't know.
Yeah.
It's terrible. I
Horrible.
just get him out of the booth.
Get him out. Gone.
I will say Mike Joy got pretty animated during one of the wrecks. We were on a bumper cam, and all of a sudden you just hear Mike go, "Oh, we got cars wrecking!" Like yelling. It was like, "That's Mike Joy? What?"
Yeah.
It was just like he's usually just so monotone, but he got Dale Jr. excited about it. I was
Yeah.
just like, "Wow, okay, cool." But let's see. Other thing, Xfinity race, it's over. They're hitting the checkered flag, and they go, Sheldon Creed's gonna do it again. It's just like, no, Austin
No.
Hill is gonna do it again.
Wrong.
Wrong name, but yeah, I don't know. The Xfinity race is just so hard to watch. Like, not your best lineup of drivers at all.
Is
Oh.
Go ahead. I just gonna ask a question.
What was it? The ARCA race late Friday. That was pretty awful too, with Cindric in there.
Oh gosh, yeah. He dressed up in a bow tie and all that
He looks
stuff.
so awkward.
Like a
Yeah.
nerd.
Yeah, that broadcast was pretty bad, but it's ARCA, so I don't really,
You're not expecting
is what it
out of
is.
it. Yeah.
yeah.
But speaking of Fox broadcast, is Jamie Little? Is she on the truck broadcast anymore? Is that over?
She did ARCA, so I'm not sure if they.
Well, she was on the broadcast for the championship race.
Yeah, but I
Right.
think So they had different teams for each race. So
Okay,
I'm wondering
so
if
was
she just
she
got like relegated down to ARCA.
was she on the truck broadcast team last year? I just know
She
she
did a
called
couple races, I
She
think.
did a few. No, I thought she did a few at the end of the season.
I know
Yeah,
she did
I
the
think
championship
that's right.
race.
Yeah.
That's why, like, I don't watch truck ever, so I don't know who's on the team, but I just know she was there, and then I know she wasn't there for the 500 or not 500, the Daytona truck race.
No, I like I said, I think they just had her doing the ARCA race afterwards, so they like had her off and other people doing it, the truck race, then she came over. But
Got it.
so let's go kill count for the week. Bowman. Dude,
Bowman
18.
knocked-
Like,
Yeesh.
boy.
yeah, that was a big wreck. At first I thought it was going to Brad, but he got lucky. He's only getting 6 for the week for that first wreck. And then Chastain, we gave him 4 for the last wreck. Sound right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm
Sure.
I can only think of the 2. Oh, there was 2 cars in the back that ended up hitting each other. Yeah. Yeah. So Bowman, that's a really good start there, man.
Bowman the showman.
Yeah.
Oof.
That's what they call
So
him.
I guess we want to move into Atlanta.
Sure, why not?
I hate it already.
How do you
Jeez.
really feel? Mr. Chase Elliott and William Byron always win here.
Yeah.
He hates
Well,
it.
I can still hate the track, even though my guys do well there.
I don't get the scheduling. Like,
Yeah, the
I'm not
scheduling
liking
worst part.
Daytona to Atlanta.
It used to make
But-
sense.
Yeah, it
but
used to make sense.
It did.
I used to like
Yeah.
it as a second race whenever it was. Well, I don't know. Atlanta was pretty boring there towards the end, but
Yeah.
at least we got you to another intermediate. Now it's like to a junior super speedway right after coming off of Daytona. I don't know. They need
More
to change
teams-
that.
Let's
more
save the
teams are gonna
teams
wreck
more
it.
money.
Yeah, really
Yeah.
expensive start to the season.
They're gonna wreck their shit.
I saw the truck entries, or there's only 32 trucks on the entry list, and they'll take
I can't
36.
afford it.
So if you got a truck, good luck.
Yeah. All right.
I'll take my
Oh.
04 F150. Let's go get
Well-
truck race win.
Yeah, but honestly, they wreck so many trucks at Daytona. Some of these teams are smaller teams where they don't have the money to do a fast turnaround to another plate track.
I mean,
Yeah.
I joke, but I genuinely don't understand the idea of talking about how much money you want to save the teams, and then you make Atlanta a super speedway race.
Yeah.
I don't understand it at all.
Yep. I said it last year and I'll say it again. I kind of wish the cup teams would take the restrictor or the plate package off and run the normal package, because I think you could put on a
And-
good show.
Maybe the plan is to get there. I mean, because I'm still hearing that they put that whatever
Sealer?
surface down to
Oh, yeah.
make the track wear faster, whatever
Oh,
sort of
yeah.
special asphalt blend that is. So I mean, maybe that's the idea. Maybe they want to run a few years here with the super speedway package, and then go back to the typical mile-and-a-half package. I don't know. Knowing NASCAR's timing, they'll do something to the mile-and-a-half package and it'll suck, and that's when they decide to switch it from the super speedway to the mile-and-a-half. I would do
That-
that switch now with how good your super speed or your mile-and-a-half package is.
Mile and a half.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, the good thing is we get it out of the way, right? So we don't have another super speedway until Talladega. So
Mm-hmm.
at least it's out of the way. I don't like that idea either of like their justification was, well, say we get a new fan who tunes in for the 500, then we have Atlanta, so they see a similar kind of racing right away. I was like, well, wouldn't
I
you
don't
want
like
to
that.
sort of
No.
show them the diversity that you have in your racing schedule,
Yeah.
not try to mislead them into thinking this is what every week looks like? Because
Right.
it doesn't. Because now you're going to show them 2 plate tracks, and they're not going to see one till, I don't know, May or whenever Talladega is.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
Seems weird, but whatever.
I feel like they did it kind of just because you had the documentary come out. They're trying to get these new fans in here, right?
Probably.
And they're like, oh, look at this plate racing. Yeah, it's so cool. And I don't know.
It sucks.
Yeah. I mean, I'd rather see Bristol, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
I don't know.
So I don't know.
Little
It's
cold.
weird. I don't like it, but we're going. They didn't ask me about it, so
Yeah.
we're going to it anyway.
Yep. Let's see. The only thing I can really think besides that, Kyle Busch truck race, That'll be cool.
Yeah.
A year ago, we got the Josh Williams front stretch park it deal.
Oh, we did. That's right.
Yeah. Better team, better car. I don't see him doing it this year. But yeah, that's all I got.
Colleague, better team. I don't know. Someday
Yeah.
they make me wonder.
They
Suppose
were
on
pretty
paper, better
quick.
car.
They were quick this week. They just,
Oh, good.
I don't know, accidents. Let's move to Survivor.
Oh, yeah.
You lead it.
So Survivor went kind of not great.
That was something.
I don't know what you guys are talking about. It was great.
Who would have thought Noah Gregson, out of the 4 we picked, Noah Gregson's going to be the one who finishes the race?
Yeah.
So yeah, Andrew won with Gregson, who somehow managed to get a 9th. Things go a little downhill from there, where
Just a little.
Joe is second with Todd Gilliland, who finished 35th.
Nice.
And then Drake was third with McDowell, who got 36th, and then me with Burton, who got 39th. So yeah, we're holding
Great
down
start.
holding down the top 40, boys. We got it.
Yeah.
So I'm up first this week. I'm just gonna go with Corey. He showed really good speed at Daytona.
It's a good pick.
He's good at Atlanta. I wouldn't call it a throwaway pick. I'd call it a strategic pick.
Yeah. If they're gonna pick him anywhere, Atlanta's a good pick for him.
Yeah.
Yep. It's run well there.
Yeah.
Yep. So
for me, gotta go Eric Jones. I think he finished top 10 there, at least first race last year. Don't really know where else to pick him, honestly. So we'll throw him in here.
Similar thinking for me. Burton. I mean, he's fast at super speedways. He doesn't get wrecked out. So
hey, away from fucking Keselowski.
Yeah, I know. So I figured. I mean, they're not going to be fast anywhere else. So why not just use him here?
Yeah, not a bad idea.
And I am going to go with Brad Keselowski. As long as he doesn't wreck, Harrison Burton again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
No,
he can wreck him again.
Well.
I don't think he's been damaged either time he's wrecked Harrison Burton.
No,
he's been fine both times. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So
yeah. No, Brad K. I think he's run well at Atlanta, and I'm gonna make it 2 weeks in a row. Gonna win it.
All right.
Nice.
Call him a shot.
Cool.
Okay. I got no OnlyFans. I got no Boomer of the Week, just because I haven't had time to get on Facebook and laugh. We had some good comments on our TikTok though, where everybody's trying to defend Brad Keselowski, and y'all are wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
incorrect opinions.
I think my Boomer of the Week. I can't think of a specific comment, but I saw a bunch of people who were trying to like fry Bubba for talking to Ross.
Oh, the cameraman.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like how
Did you see the cameraman?
Oh, and
thing?
the cameraman then too. Yeah. Bubba tried to run this random guy over. She pissed off. It was his personal cameraman that he's buddies with, and he was joking at him. Hey, my about killed him.
Dude, they look for anything. It's
they sure
crazy.
Crazy.
But on that note, let's call the week, and we'll watch Atlanta. And
it's not supposed to rain. It's not supposed to rain.
First, hopefully the first.
It said rain on Friday.
Race of the season.
Yeah,
there was rain on Friday.
Who cares about practice? It's not supposed to rain on Sunday or Saturday.
Saturday and Sunday is 0%, so I think we're good.
Yeah.
Praise the Lord.
It's gonna change.
Yeah,
just watch. It's gonna happen. All right. Peace out, everybody.
Thanks, guys. I love you.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Green White Checker Podcast. We hope you enjoyed it. For more from the boys and the podcast, be sure to follow us on Twitter at the GWCpod for the podcast, at biggelstv for Zach, at shakendrake_TTV for Austin, at picksbyfitz for Andrew, and at J_Sully10 for Joe. Head over to thegwcpod.com to submit a question for our OnlyFans segment. Thanks again for listening, and we hope to catch you again next episode.